Good afternoon, Mike Jones, Fire Chief, City of Fredericksburg. Let's talk about COVID-19 for a few minutes and the governor's Phase 1 reopening plan. First, the statistics. 805 total cases in the health district as of today. That is an increase of 23 cases since yesterday, so we've gone up a little bit. 396 in Stafford, 261 in Spotsylvania, 44 now in King George, 38 in Caroline. The city had an increase of 5 overnight. They're now at 66. Contact tracing is being done with that, and that information will be provided to emergency management a little bit later today. Unfortunately, we also have had 2 additional deaths in the health district. Both of those occurred with Stafford County residents. The total of deaths in the health district is now at 14. Again, overall contact or overall positive cases versus total number of tests taken still runs between 15 and 16% in the Commonwealth. If you've read the local guidance from the governor's office, most of the cases, or a vast majority of the cases that are positive, are now turning up in Northern Virginia. They have a positive rate of about 25% versus the state is much lower than that. Still only 3 outbreaks in the area, 2 of those in long-term care facilities, 1 at a congregate setting. And there are still 30 people in the hospital that are known positive with COVID-19. We'll put up the statistics from the state and the United States on our written report. We do have 891 people in the Commonwealth of Virginia that has perished from the disease as those metrics continue to come out. Let's talk a little bit for a few minutes about the Phase 1 reopening. In case you haven't seen it, earlier today, Governor Northam did decide to have the lockdown remain in place for Northern Virginia localities for an additional 2 weeks and through Thursday, May 28th. That just came out earlier this morning. What that basically means is all jurisdictions north of Stafford and from Loudon eastward toward the Potomac River are still in lockdown, so those things will stay that way. The non-essential businesses will stay closed until May 28th. For the Rappahannock region, Planning District 16, the planned reopening is still on schedule for this Friday, May 15th. The governor's guidance did come out late Friday night. We've examined that, looked it over. It appears to be fairly self-explanatory. We will put a copy of the governor's guidance up on our website by tomorrow. There are some issues in there that you may need assistance with, especially for businesses, because a lot of it talks about occupant load. If you have questions about occupant load, how to find the occupant load in your business, what your occupant load is so you can determine the 50% capacity requirement. All those things can be done by contacting Building Services section of the city. That number is 540-372-1080. I'm going to repeat that again, 540-372-1080. If you have issues with that or any other interpretations of the governor's request, you can also contact the Fire Marshal's office of the fire department. That number is 540-372-1059. 540-372-1059. We want to try to provide as much information as we can to you, or give you an interpretation of what the actual governor's guidance is. That's broken out into mandatory requirements and then best practices. And best practices don't necessarily have to be done, but they are highly recommended. So I think you need to read through the guidance for your particular business, understand and apply it to your particular business. But the biggest thing there is the occupant load, so you can determine what the 50% capacity is, and then you'll have to look at the social distancing with that. But if you need help with that, or you need someone to come out to visit your business, we'll certainly make somebody in the city available so that you can get that done. If you have any other questions related to the governor's guidance or things like that, please don't hesitate to call us at our main number, 540-372-1010, City Manager's office, and we'll get it to the right department so that we can get you a response back. And finally, don't forget again, 6 p.m., step outside and say hello. Make sure you check on your neighbors, especially those that are elderly and have disabilities. It's just a good idea, a way to get some fresh air and some sunshine, things like that, and checking on your neighbors and making sure your neighbors and your friends are doing well and taken care of, especially those that are elderly and disabled. We'll talk again soon. Thanks.